Howdy, guys.
Good afternoon, folks. Happy Tuesday.
What's going on? Um,
Happy September.
I don't know if you guys, if you've never seen us before, you wouldn't know this, but if you go back into a few of our podcasts, we bring up the fact that this guy Crooks, who first tried to assassinate Trump, um, knew that this one roof would be empty.
I mean,
which is absurd because
Right.
first off, one of the police officers from the Butler area, had told Secret Service to put somebody up there. Number two, there were FBI agents in the building, literally underneath this guy
the roof.
Crooks, literally
Right.
right underneath him.
And nothing happened.
And coincidentally, they left the building when he went up there, if you can imagine. Anyway, so that was kind of my question: was how did this kid know that? Now, I don't know how much you know about this kid, but this kid was involved with BlackRock, which is a really underhanded organization. What he did for
$1
them,
trillion.
trillion, exactly. What he did for them was he did an infomercial kind of thing. And what BlackRock tends to do is they send their camera crew out. And with the camera crew, they send, like obviously the cameraman, the sound guy, and all this. But there's usually another person who has nothing to do with the production of the show. And what they're there to do is to assess the people that are being used. And they basically want to assess how pliable they are, how much they can how much they can benefit BlackRock in any sort of manner. And this kid was one of them, by the way. He was in a BlackRock video, clips I'm talking about. So the one question I had was, how did this kid, 21 years old, no money? And the other thing is he has overseas bank accounts. Now, at 21 years old, if you have overseas bank accounts, your last name is maybe, Tish, is maybe like, Rockefeller, exactly, Onassis, you know what I mean?
Right.
Something like that. It's not Crooks. It's not some kid who bought this rifle from his dad, okay?
Right.
That just doesn't work like that. But let that go for a minute, okay? Let's suspend reality for a minute.
Right. The question.
The one question was, how did he know that no one would be on this perfectly sighted route to the stage?
Especially it's a rally for a president or for someone who's running for president. So you have to know at that rally, there's going to be fucking sharpshooters
everywhere. And the other
you
thing
have to know that.
The other
What
thing
did I give you a scare to say, wait a minute, why should I do this? Right? Like, what did you think? They said, wait a minute. Right? So that's a good question. How would he know?
Okay, so now that's one aspect of it, okay? Now, the other aspect is, like, as you said, it's a rally and all of that stuff. But there's like 3 or 4, I can't tell you, offhand, I don't really remember which ones, but there's like 3 or 4 senators, and they're actually Navy SEALs, or they're whatever, they're
Right.
high-ranking
Mills,
military, right? Exactly. But there's 3 or 4 of them.
Right.
And they put together, I can't remember of them, offhand, but they put together like 10 of them, 10 senators. And they went to Butler and they wanted to see what the roof looked like and all of this.
Right.
And there was one senator,
every area.
right? There was one senator there who had never shot a rifle in his life. They gave him an AK, AK or AR, I'm not sure which. I don't know. I can't say that. But with the sight, the exact same a replicated rifle of what the shooter used. And they gave him a chance of shooting a dummy from the distance, like that. And he took 16 shots. And out of the 16 shots, there were 15 kill shots to the head. And the 16th shot caught the ear of the dummy. Just exactly like Trump. Exactly. So from that perspective, if you were a Secret Service, this should have been one of the first places that you would put a sniper, because it's a direct line, and it's not even just a direct line.
Right to the stage.
It's a downhill line. Uphill, you might have like a little wind drag, or you might have a little something. I mean,
this was downhill, right?
This is downhill, which means
that
you're going to be. This is the only way you're going to get a more exact shot is if you're pointing directly down.
Right.
That's it, because at that point it's weight versus, it's inertia and weight versus resistance. This way, straightforward, well, you're always going to have a drop in power, and it's going to drop a little bit. Again, depending upon how much grain, it depends on a lot with the thing. But I'm saying, in general, for the most perfect shot, you want a slightly down angle. So,
That's what it was.
and that's exactly what this was. When these military senators got off the bus at this stadium or whatever it is, they saw two sites. One was a water tower, and the other was this roof. And they both said exactly the same thing. Those are the two places I would have sat, shoot them. So why wouldn't the Secret Service know about that?
Right, 'cause from the tower, if you look at it from the tower to that roof.
So my one question is, how did this kid know that no one would be on this roof? So that was the one
That's
question.
the one question.
Now we got to get to the again, okay? Because here's another one question.
The second assassination we're up to now,
Right,
which just happened a couple of days ago.
right.
Right ahead.
You want me to take it or you want?
Go right ahead. This is the other question.
Okay. So it was done on a golf course. This golf game was a last minute thought. It wasn't planned out. It wasn't on his itinerary. It wasn't, it wasn't like, last week he said to this one,
Next week we're going.
yeah, we're going to go to this and we're going to play this game and blah, blah, blah. This was like a last minute type of deal. This man was staked out for 12 hours. So how, again, did he know? That's my question.
Like you said,
Same question.
Sat there for 12 hours with snakes, and then he
Spiders,
spiders,
possible
crocodiles,
alligators. I mean,
whatever, yeah.
Florida is not a friendly place when it comes to terrain.
Right.
Okay, by any means. Ask any puppy who's out there, and they'll tell you that they got a really great shot of being eaten by an alligator. The snakes are unbelievable. The spiders are unbelievable.
Well, you're right. Okay.
I mean, it's basically mini Australia. Think of it from that perspective.
So he sat there for 12 hours.
12 hours in
saying,
the brush.
Ooh, I hope he shows up.
Now-
I hope he shows up, right?
Now, right. His positioning was that of the press. This is where the press usually sits when they want to take pictures of them golfing.
Right, far away. You
So
take it
now-
from a distance.
Again, here's another question. Okay, why did they not sweep the perimeter before they started playing the game? And this is a place where this guy was sitting is where the press sits. So there's somebody there. So why would you not have had maybe a guard standing there just to keep everything under control?
Right, with dogs. Different
Something,
dogs, right?
something. Now, I also heard that it was left up to Biden himself to assess how much security Trump would need. Now, the bad thing about that is that's not his job. That's Homeland Security.
Homeland Security, people.
And if
Remember
he
that.
did it, if he's the one who said this is all Trump needs, then
That's pretty safe.
to some degree he's as well to blame because Trump is not your typical. Okay, first I say this almost every podcast, but I gotta say it now. If you had somebody up there that was better for the country than Trump, I'd be behind them. I'm not.
Him or her, don't matter.
People think that I'm a Trump, lunatic. I'm a Trump lunatic
You're a
or whatever.
lunatic.
I'm not. I'm a United States lunatic. I love the United States. I love who we were.
Look, God bless America.
Right.
people.
I love who we were. Okay? But at the same token, it changed. Okay? The
It
United
didn't
States
change better.
changed.
It didn't get better.
Well, no, I'm going way back. You're talking about recent change. I'm talking about going prior to like 1980s.
Oh, geez.
Your biggest thing was to grow up, either join the military or get a union job.
Right.
You worked for 20, 25 years. In that time, you got a family, you got a house. Then you retired, you enjoyed your grandchildren, and you died. And that was the United States. It was, I call it like a family type. Like it was based on family ideas.
Right.
Okay? Ideals, whatever you want to call them. Right. So that changed in the 1990s. When you flood somewhere with an enormous amount of financial gain, it can't stay the same.
No.
Because the expectations change. And when expectations change, so do values. And so that's kind of what happened here. But at the same token, what we did was we went from, as I said, family ideals to being a business. So now we are no longer a regular country where we're concerned with the family. And that's okay. That's really okay because it's not up to the country to be concerned with your family. It's up to you. You, not nobody else.
Individual.
So that's okay. But the country still has to run. Okay? it's kind of like it's kind of like if you took a school bus
Right.
and turned it into a race car. Okay, it's not going to do the same thing it did before,
No,
but
no.
it's still got to run as best as
Right.
possible.
So we need someone to run the country.
So at that point, when you're talking about now becoming a business, you cannot allow someone who doesn't understand business to run a business.
Right.
You know what they'll do? They'll run into the ground. A classic example is you give a poor person money, okay? You give them a lot of money. The first thing you do is you spend it.
Mm-hmm.
They spend it.
Mm-hmm.
You give a
Yeah.
rich person money, they make more money.
They make more money.
That's the idea, and that's what we need. Our deficits, our debt, and all that. We need money. Okay, we need money.
We need
Plain and
money.
simple. So
It's a
we need
business.
right. We need somebody who understands how to cut the fat and increase the profit. And I'm sorry, there's not many people who understand that. Okay, we had a really great guy in there, Mnuchin, Steve Mnuchin. I actually know him. I actually know him. I used to work with somebody in his building. He lived on like I don't want to say where he lives, but where he lived because I don't know if he's still living there or not. But it was on Park Avenue. Let's put it that way. Make it easy. So Steve Mnuchin was. I always found him to be
Treasury, right?
right, exactly, Treasury.
Treasury.
I always found him to be a very nice guy. He was kind of like
Smart.
brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But I almost would have said that he had some sort of like an anxiety or some sort of issue like that because he was friendly, but in a very guarded way,
Right.
for lack of a better way to explain it. But anyway, he was fantastic, and he figured out how to cut fat, how to increase other areas, and so forth. And that's great, but he's still not Donald Trump. Trump has vision. Okay, he sees things. He understands leverage. That's what, to tell you the truth, that's the reason why he has such a bad reputation. Because
Right.
you people believe what he says. So like he'll turn around, let's take NATO. NATO's a great example for this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So he turned around to NATO during his presidency. He said, you're paying 2% and we're paying 20%.
What's wrong with this country?
That's not right.
Right.
So unless you pay your own
Mhm.
percentage, we're not gonna protect you. And they turned around and said, so you mean if another country starts war with us, you're just gonna leave it? He said, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. But to top that off, he got paid by them.
Right. And nobody,
He
again,
wasn't really like if they were
under his watch did anything.
right. And the truth of the matter is, if they had gotten invaded or anything like that, just like Ukraine, we don't have any sort of treaty arrangement with Ukraine, but we help them. We help everybody, regardless. All he did was use a little bit of rhetoric to get them to move their asses.
Nothing
That's
wrong with
it.
it.
And it's the same thing as
So you go to work, a boss at work, right? Is going to use a little to get
yeah, if you don't move more production, you're gonna get fired.
right.
He's not really gonna fire you if you're just a little bit off, but he wants to
Well,
make
he
you
wants
think
to,
it so you move faster.
right.
Ukraine is a fantastic example. Okay, it's
Good point.
what?
No, that's a good point.
Oh, thank you. And now you see, you made me lose my track on
Ukraine.
I know, but I lost where I was going with it. That's okay. It's no big thing. I'm not that smart anyway.
But the boss is, you know,
Yeah, I'm not that smart anyway. Don't worry about it.
well, he may
Okay.
need all right.
Okay, so Ukraine is a great example of how we help, like, in situations that we have nothing whatsoever to do with. Okay.
Yeah, really.
And it never stops. So we create more. Instead of us paying our debt back, we're actually just giving money and stuff away,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of stupid, but we do it. Now,
Really kid.
as far as Ukraine, they asked Trump what, how he wait. No, I'm sorry. Was he on the side of Ukraine? And his answer was, I just want people to stop dying.
Right.
Now,
Right.
somehow they found a problem with that. Now, you explain to me what's wrong with saying, I don't want people to die. Any people.
The
Any
Russians
people.
or the Ukrainians. That's what he meant.
And he said he could have it settled before he walks into office.
And I bet you could. Because when he was in office, nobody
Now-
invaded.
But now you got to ask yourself. Something. Why isn't that enough to make them want to vote for him? Because there's too much money being made off of this Ukraine deal. There's money being made everywhere. They just found an Iranian check, I believe it's Iranian, made out to Joe Biden for $1 million
Oh, yes,
for
Iranian.
for the same deal with Burisma that everybody
Yes.
said didn't happen.
It's Iranian.
I mean, you know,
From Iran, people.
everybody's getting paid off, and that's why these things have to continue because they make money.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, listen, I'm not putting any sort of blame or any. I'm not accusing anyone. Let's say that of anything. But if you look at the weaponry that's going on in Russia, in Hamas,
Hamas now,
it's
right?
our weapons. They're using our weapons from Afghanistan that we
Yes.
left behind.
Yes.
They actually sold our weapons to Russia, and they're being used against Israel and against Ukraine. And at the same token, we're sending weapons to Ukraine. So our own weapons are firing at each other.
How does that sound?
Think about the logic behind that.
And that's what the Biden and Harris administration did.
And if you don't think that it was meant to happen like that, I'll give you one better. Why didn't they blow them up? So, example, they have tanks. They have our tanks. They have our bombers.
We got grenades. We got everything.
Why didn't they throw a grenade in the tank and make it useless? Why didn't they throw a grenade into the plane and make it useless? Because it was left there to be used. Think what you want, and you can think, oh, well, he's an idiot.
Questions, people.
But there's no a rifle. A rifle just has to be banged against a tree, and it's no longer good.
Right. You ever see the rifleman?
All you have to do is bang it against the tree, and
Yeah.
it's going to snap in half,
That's it.
and it's never going to be used again.
Well, like you say.
But
all
they
had
put.
to
I'm
do-
surprised they didn't
right.
pack them up.
Right. Yeah. Put them in a pile, like you say. You put all the weapons in a pile and blow them up.
You got a flamethrower, right there.
Blow them up.
Leave them loaded, flamethrower it, and that's it.
So now the question is, ask yourself, why were they left behind? See, another
Because
question.
somebody got paid to leave them behind.
Right. Because really, in reality, who leaves weapons behind? To an enemy that's against us.
My grandmother used to
We'll
say.
figure that one out.
My grandmother used to say, "Don't become a gunsmith because you might get killed by the gun you just sold." And that's kind of what's going on. I mean, you know,
Yeah, sure.
that's
That
you
is
know,
a good saying.
Yeah.
God bless. Really, that's a good
my
saying.
grandmother was like kind of a cross between Mr. T and Confucius, if you can imagine.
Yeah. Because that was a good saying. Because
She
really,
pitied
it's
the
true.
fool while eating rice. No,
Yeah. But it's true though. I mean, what in their right mind leaves weapons behind to an
That's
enemy?
absurd. That's absurd. Okay, so listen. So now I want to talk a little bit about the debate because that was kind of a big thing and it happened a while ago. So I think now it's calmed down enough that we can talk about it.
Yes.
So we sit down.
September 10th.
Yeah. Okay. So we sit down and watch the.
7 days.
Kerry's at his house. I'm at my house, and we sit down and watch the debate 9 o'clock. At about 10 after 9, Kerry texts me. You remember what she said?
About 9:15, about 10
Yeah.
after.
I got to get my phone because I want to do this exact, and I'll show you guys.
Oh, I remember what I say. I said, how many lies, right?
Wait. I'll tell you exactly. Hold on.
Hold on a second. But the debate was pretty big time. Everybody watched it. I hope everybody did watch it because this is about common sense, people. It's about common sense.
Okay, here's what he said. Okay, and I'm gonna actually show you guys, but I'm gonna block everything. So you're just gonna get to see.
What time was it?
It was 9:40, I guess, at this point. So it had really just started.
Right, so within a half
So I'm
hour.
gonna block that. I'm gonna block. Oh shit! I screwed up.
Pretty much within a half
No,
hour.
Kerry's name.
Watching
Yeah,
it
here.
and listening to it, you could tell the commentators. David
I did it
Muir,
again.
what was
Did
that
you believe
lady's
that?
name?
Oh.
It was Muir and who? That lady?
Oh, I don't remember.
Well,
Davis,
they're-
Lynn Davis.
They were from
or something.
ABC. ABC.
Well, there's really nothing you can see here.
And
They know your name, but I'll put it like
within
that.
a half hour, you
Okay,
could
let's
tell.
see. I don't know if you guys can see. Oh wow, I don't think it's going to
No.
register. Yeah, let me slow this down a second. Can I do it this way?
No.
No, it doesn't pick it up. That sucks. Anyway, all right. Wait.
We're getting used to the
Listen,
technology.
you're just going to have to take my word for it, okay?
It was
So
about
here's what it
9:30.
It's 9:40. It says here 9:40.
Okay.
It says September 10th at 9:40. He texts me.
It
He goes,
just started.
my brother, how much is she lying?
Right. How much is she lying?
I said, my answer to him. Here, you read my answer. It's in the blue right there.
She got the questions ahead of time.
That was at 9:40 on the night of the thing. Since then, she's
Yeah.
been accused of getting.
The questions
Now-
ahead of time.
I'll tell you
Right, because if you watched it, come on.
what I
please.
should have done. I should have went to YouTube and I should have pulled up the debate, showed you what made me say that. Because what I want you guys to do is pull up the debate, okay, and watch the very first question that they ask her.
Right. Listen to the first question.
She comes out and she's like, all nervous, and then they ask her the question, and she goes, and it's like,
Right.
in her mind, you could read it. She was saying, they're going with the program. They're going with the program. And
She didn't even answer the first
and that's
question,
all
so-
she's been doing is memorizing answers to the questions she was
Right.
given.
Right.
Okay, that's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, I don't know.
The other thing is this: the commentators were fact checking Donald Trump.
Well, I was just going to get to that. I was just going
Right.
to get to that. I don't know how true this is,
But they won't
but
fact check
from
it.
what I understand, she made a deal. First, let's say this: the female moderator is her sorority sister. Start there, same college for sorority. The owner of ABC,
Lambo.
Omega Mu.
We've been to the nerds.
So the owner of ABC introduced
Wow.
Kamala to her husband. So there's quite a bit of connection there, okay? What were we talking about? I just lost track.
Questions.
You brought me into the Omega Move. Okay, so anyway, the other thing
She
is,
knew the question.
yes, she knew the questions, but now this part I can't swear to, but I believe it, even though it's been reported, but I haven't been totally convinced. But they're saying that she actually, she actually bargained to get herself not fact checked and to only fact check Trump. And if you listen,
That's
one of
what they did.
well, if you listen to one of the moderators, he actually at one point or another says that he watched
Yes,
rallies,
yeah.
campaigns,
Yes.
etc.
David Muir said that.
Right, exactly, and that's how he knew what to look for as far as fact checking. Now, as far as let's go through it. I would take every single one of them, but you can trust me on this, and if not, so
Look it up.
if you don't trust me or you want to call me out on something, by all means, you know where the comments are.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is, there wasn't one time they were right. There wasn't one time they were right. Okay, even down to pets being eaten. Right now, if you go down to the village in Manhattan, you'll see rats on rotisserie. I'm not kidding with you. If you want,
You just rode our bikes down there.
I can pull it up. I mean, I can without a doubt pull it up and show
I've
you
seen
exactly what I'm talking about. But you can look it up.
I was down by Fulton Street not too far.
Yeah,
long ago. I
that's
used to go
Manhattan.
down there.
We don't. That's not even. That's where they can steal food from. Okay, Manhattan. They can steal food from any store that's here.
Okay.
In Ohio, they don't have that option. So when they get hungry and they start walking down the street, and your Fido is out there, believe me, your Fido's going. They have a different view on what a pet is.
Right.
Okay, it's just like in China.
It was just breaking news not too long ago. They showed in Ohio what they were cooking.
Do you remember reading about the wet bar in coronavirus territory? Do you remember that? That's how it all started, supposedly, with the bats. People across the world eat different things than we expect them to be eating. And just because we call it a pet doesn't mean it's not an animal. It doesn't mean it's not edible. There's actually some places that are so bad they're reverting to cannibalism and eating people. And if you don't believe me, call me on it.
Right.
I'll do another show and show you exactly the people eating people.
Right.
Okay, because I mean,
You have no idea.
you're stuck in this one little thing.
Right.
Where you think people are a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
and like, call me she, they, we, her. And let me tell you something. Go outside the United States, and you'll be lucky if they call you dinner. Okay, because that's I'm telling you,
That's the truth. No, bro. I believe you, man.
it's absurd.
All you gotta
man.
do is look it up, people.
I mean, and
We'll show you.
the funny part is then they make fun of him. They're like, oh, well, he thinks, I'm marking my cat safe from that. Listen, you mark whatever you want. You're an idiot if you think it's not true.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll tell you the truth, there are homeless people out there eating pigeons, eating rats, people have to eat. And that's the way it is. And I do a joke, and I mean,
That's right. You're absolutely right, man.
yin and yang. Okay, yin and yang, which applies to this. I use this when I used to teach. I used to teach kids. And I would try to explain to them that there's a little good in all bad.
Like
And
this.
there's a little bad in all
Right?
good.
Like this little break.
Exactly. That's why
There you go,
why
Bill. You see this?
one side is white and the other side is black. But
One's got the white dot.
on the white
black
side, you have a black dot. And on the black side, you have a white dot. And what that means is in everything that's bad, you're gonna find something a little bit good.
And everything good.
Like you could say somebody died, let's
Right.
say, okay? What's the good thing? Well, they're not in pain anymore.
Right.
There's
There you
always
go.
something.
Right.
Or
And
like,
then
you know,
everything
a
good,
snake.
there's
Now,
always
this is the one I
something
use with the kids, and they usually find it disgusting but funny, so I'm gonna say it anyway. Um, I'll say, look at the idea of a snake eating a dog. It's bad for the dog, but the snake had to
bad.
eat.
Right. That's true. So,
And that's the same way it is for people. It's no different.
right.
So
And you have
that's,
to
you know,
understand too, like where they come from. This is what
that's normal.
that's normal
normal.
for them. It's not normal to us. That's why, of course, the people are lying, but that's why they can't believe it.
We have a certain respect for animals that
animals.
they don't have.
We treat them like family.
Right. To them, it's food.
Food.
Any animal at all. It's like a hunter.
And you just showed it not too long ago. Breaking news in Ohio. They're what are they cooking? What is that?
The pets,
That's-
the
cats.
the rats, the cats,
Cats.
the dogs.
They were
There's a big
barbecuing
thing
it.
on YouTube about it. You know,
Look it up.
you could see a guy. The cops. Okay, so the cops come up to this house, and they get this guy and they put him on the floor
Right,
in
right.
handcuffs.
Yes.
And they go, "What were you doing there? Were you eating that?" And they're talking about a dog, and he goes, "I eating it. I eating it." You know, this is what they do. It's not.
We're gonna
And
look it up.
listen, I'm not even casting aspersions on them. Like my daughter kind of had a problem with it. My daughter was like, you know, well, they shouldn't have their animals out without, you know, unattended, this and that. And I'm like, they don't expect people to come by and eat their freaking
Stop,
animals.
yeah, stop their dogs or cats.
You know
over
what
the
I'm saying?
street.
That's not something that's, you know, you say to yourself, oh, I better not put my dog out in the yard because somebody's going to come along and eat it.
No,
You know,
you don't think that. Yeah.
it's not the way you think because it's not you. You grew up with a certain amount of morals.
Right.
And that's
We said we love our pets.
that goes back to the reason why they shouldn't be allowed here without us knowing why they're coming, what they're doing, and who they are.
Right.
That's why we have an immigration system.
Right. Look at the violence now. Look at the gangs now. Look at the gang now more. Not just in Colorado. Now there's more in Texas. Right.
Well, here, let's go back. Let's go back 4 years to coronavirus. The original thought of how coronavirus was gotten was somebody ate a bat from this wet market, and
Right.
it created some sort of a virus in
Mhm.
them. That's what was originally said. Now, that's not me talking. That was the
That
original
was the original.
story.
They even showed a picture of a bat.
So,
Remember they showed the bat?
right, exactly. They showed him hanging in the thing
Right,
upside
in the
down.
cave.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you heard about the bat lady who went into the caves and she got the guano and all this crap. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, the
But-
scientists, right?
Right,
The freaking
exactly.
nut. Right.
Exactly. Bat lady, they called her.
Yeah.
So, how do we know
They
that?
got them all out there.
But how do we know what kind of diseases they have in their bodies? So here's a great example. You want to go to Africa,
Right.
you got to get 17 shots. 17 shots.
You know, we're not talking about liquor, people.
No, we're talking about inoculations, baby. Anyway, and you got to get 17 of them
Take those too.
in order to have your immune system strong enough for the bugs over there. The
Oh, my
mosquitoes
God.
can kill you
Yes.
with
No.
what's that called? What's that shit called that they have?
Oh,
I
so
can't think
right.
of it, but Vicks, I can't think of the name of it. Damn. Anyway, they just sprayed for it actually. Not anthrax.
Oh, I know.
Fuck, I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, but whatever it is, these mosquitoes. Then you have murder hornets. Then
Oh,
you
my
have you have
you
dragonflies.
just
that are
see
this
those
big.
hornets?
You have
I said-
spiders. You have
The needle was that big on a hornet.
right, and that's not.
Oh.
Now I'm not even talking about bacterial. I'm just talking about insects.
Oh, West Nile virus.
West Nile, right? Exactly.
Right.
So anyway, I'm not even talking about like bacterial or viral infections.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about waterborne infections. I'm not talking about plant-borne infections. So you have to get 17 shots if you want to survive the trip to Africa and back. Meanwhile, what if an African comes here and brings all of that? Now you got to get 17 shots to stay in the United States.
So they should be checked before they, and then that.
That's all we're asking.
So what?
Listen, and well, you're anti this. I'm not anti anything. I'm pro American. I want to know that my country is safe.
Right.
You want to come to my country? Fantastic. Show me you're not going to make it unsafe.
Right.
That's all I care about.
Look all the people that come in here with the children that are sick. and
Look
they
at
go to
this.
school.
Look at the freaking gangs taking over the buildings.
That's what I'm saying. In
That's crazy.
Colorado, now we just got one in Texas hotel. So the one in Texas
Yep.
hotel. We got them here in New York too, people. So please be careful out there. So then you clue you in. We got them right here in New York too.
They don't have the same
Values.
values that we do.
They don't believe in. Listen, they're animals.
And if they did, they would come the right way.
Right.
It's kind of like, here's the deal. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like gun laws, okay? So they want to increase gun laws, make more gun laws, make it harder to get guns.
That's the guns, people. We go
The
through
people who
this.
commit the crimes don't follow laws by definition. They're committing crimes. So they're not following laws now. What makes you think they're going to follow more laws?
They're not.
There's only one possible way to curb weapons issues, and that's with mandatory sentences. If listen, if you knew you got caught with a weapon
That's right.
that wasn't registered, wasn't, was an illegal weapon,
What
let's
are you
say,
going to do when you're fucking 25
you're
to
doing
life?
life. You're doing life. No, there is no 25 too. You're caught with a weapon. You're doing life. There, no trial even. No trial. You don't even get a trial, man. You're gonna do life. And I'm personally, I don't really mean that when I say no trial, but I'm saying that's how steady it should be. That like you'll get the trial, but once that guilt is found, you're getting life. There is no plea. There is no. This is it.
Right.
I guarantee you, 80 to 90%,
95 maybe.
right? Maybe would not carry a gun. Would not carry a gun because it's like the three-time loser thing that they had for a while. If you committed 3 crimes, you're going away. Now you aren't getting out. So people worried about that. You would actually hear people go, "I'm not doing that, man. I got 2 down. I'm 3 strikes. 3 strikes, you're out." That's what it was.
Now it should be 1.
Exactly.
Something like this.
When you're talking about guns or any sort of weapon of destruction, if you're caught with that illegally, it's mandatory life.
Well, here, like this guy right here. Not the first one because he's dead. They took his ass out. The one who assassinated,
They're not him with weapons of mass destruction.
Thank you. I was about to say that. They found.
I don't even know what it was because they didn't list it. But a weapon of mass destruction is, an atomic bomb. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not, it's nuclear. It's, I don't know what it was again because they didn't say. But
so this guy should get life here.
Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt.
Because he's already had trouble with the.
Listen, I'm even talking about the kid. I'm talking about the 18-year-old kid. No. And I'm generically.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about the 18-year-old kid who's walking down the street and has a little 22 tucked in his back.
Oh, okay.
And the cop stops him for some stupid reason that, he maybe jaywalked or whatever it was. And he gets caught with that little 22. He goes for life because he has no business carrying that gun. 22. Now, if that gun is legal, not a problem. Everybody should be allowed to carry a legal weapon. That's number 1. Okay? But it's got to be legal. Number 2, everybody should be trained with that said weapon.
Right.
And trained to a degree that,
I was about to say that. Anybody who registers a gun.
Number 3, any responsibility falls flatly on that person. So if that gun gets out, gun goes somewhere, that person's doing his time. Plain and simple. I mean, unless he can, prove that he sold it or whatever in a legal manner.
Right.
But that's how solid you have to be. And increasing the law, if you got to, okay, so here's the deal. If
stand by it too.
If it's against the law to rob a bank, and somebody robs a bank, you don't turn around and now make a new law that it's against the law to turn the handle on the door to the bank. That kind of makes sense. I'm trying to explain it. They're still going to do it.
All they're doing.
They're still going to do it. It makes no difference.
Well, it's like you said one time, like we made a point. You could kill someone with a pencil. You could kill someone with a scissor. You could kill someone with your key. So what do you get? Take that all away?
The glass, which is the easiest thing going. I mean, and you can do the glass. You can do it by grinding it up, putting in their food over time, and rip them apart from the inside. I mean, so anything can be used as a weapon. But what I'm specifically talking about is these extreme weapons, like any sort of firearm, like a knife, like that can be considered. But as far as any sort of firearm you get caught with, that's illegal. Immediate and harsh punishment.
Harsh. And I guarantee like you said, about 90-95% nobody's been walking around with illegal guns no more.
All right, listen, I think we did a half hour. I think you heard enough from us. You guys don't like us anyway.
Come on, you can't take abuse.
Listen, I'm supposed to be getting, I'm still waiting on it. I'm supposed to be getting some equipment.
Oh, yeah, we'll get more technology.
Yeah, that should make this show a little more fun. We're going to be able to fuck with voices, and we're going to have a good time.
You like the background now? No, that's really his wall.
No, yeah, right? No. Wouldn't it be cool if Kool-Aid broke through?
That's what I'm waiting for.
Oh, yeah. No, sorry.
Hey, cool.
Oh, yeah. Anyway,
No, but we're getting a little more technology. We're figuring out. We might hopefully in the future might have a studio.
yeah. Listen, I took
So we
down,
have guests, right?
I actually took down the last show with the guitar and stuff in it because the sound was just horrible. So I bought microphones, stuff like that, and they're coming. So if the sound is horrible, I'll probably take it down. I'm not sure, unless you guys really want me to leave it up. But the guitar sounded horrible, man. I was actually embarrassed as to how bad it was. But that's not why I took it down. It was annoying trying, like, with the sound going in and out. We'll get to hit another show really soon.
Yes,
This was a half hour. I guess that's about all you could take of us at one time.
Good talking to you. Good to see you again.
Yeah, you. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Let's have some fun a minute.
And
Hold on. Goodbye, Johnny.
yeah, right.
Romper
Yeah,
Room.
Hi, Billy.
Oh,
Hi,
God.
Sarah. Jane.
That Romper Room was an old show that we used to be on. We had that. We had, who was the guy on Wonderama? What was his name? Do you remember? Bob McAllister. Bob McAllister? That's all right, Bob
Yes,
McAllister?
okay. Then we had Captain Kangaroo.
Captain Kangaroo.
Bozo the Clown.
Yeah. Captain Kangaroo lived in my neighborhood. He lived on 82nd
Yeah.
Street, East End
Remember?
Avenue.
Yep. Yeah, he was right in
And
job.
so did Peter Boyle. He lived on 86th Street, East End.
Yeah.
He was a cool dude. I had to go into his building one time. I was helping somebody with their cable. They were having
It's funny you said it, because I just watched on Frankenstein the other day.
Oh, yeah. He
I
was
saw
such a
Madeline
cool
Carr.
dude.
She just lived down the block from my job.
And what a pothead, by the way. What a freaking pothead. I'm not kidding. What Boyle was.
Right.
What a nice guy, though. I rode the elevator with him once. He was like a child. That's what I could really explain it. He was like an embarrassed child, if you know what I'm talking about. Like, he wouldn't really engage. He was kind of like, it was almost like a sign of autism or something like that. I can't really say, but what a cool guy. I mean,
Cool.
He wasn't nasty or anything like that, but he was just kind of short with everything. Like a guy his size, you would think would be imposing, and he just wasn't. He was like a child. It was pretty cool. I ran into him a few times in that building. It was 86th Street, East End Avenue. I forget the number, but
he was down there.
one of the guys in there gave me a puppy. He had a kennel. One of the guys lived in there, and he gave me my Pebbles. I don't remember Pebbles.
Yep.
Pebbles was my baby.
Yep.
Anyway.
Beautiful dog.
All right, guys. You go have a great day.
Happy
It's
Tuesday.
a
Enjoy
pleasure.
the rest of the week. Be safe.
Oh, no, I love you too. See, my dog is upset now. She goes, come on over.
Be safe.
Come on.
And we'll be doing
Come
another
here.
show shortly and talk to
Come
you
here.
soon.
Come here. You want to say hi?
All right.
Come on. Come here.
Anybody got kids in school?
No,
Good
she
luck
doesn't
this
want
year.
She's
Your
the most
kids in
beautiful
school.
dog. All right, guys. Have a great day. I'll
Be
talk to you
safe.
later. On 3. 1,
One,
2.
two.
Say goodbye, Kerry.
Bye, Karen.